Bonsoir. I'm sorry that I'm going to do my presentation in English. Thank you. It's an absolute honor to be here. It's my first time in Abidjan, so thank you so, so much. It's an honor to be here today. Thank you. What impact you have, because I know that the room is filled with a lot of influencers, brands, and whether or not you believe you're an influencer, everybody has a platform online. So today I just wanted to talk to you and to challenge you to think about what impact you have on your platform. But before I go ahead with that, I would like to share with you a little story about how my journey online started. So, February 4th, 2014, my husband and I, David, who's sitting here, my husband and I were dancing in our living room. It wasn't the first time that we would dance, but on this occasion, I took out my camera phone, I clicked record, and I hit send. It was a 15-second video that was uploaded to my Instagram page, and we carried on with our lives. The next morning, I woke up to phone calls, text messages, emails from friends and family in different parts of the world saying, I need you to confirm that you're not the ones that I've just seen dancing in this video. And of course, with 100% certainty, I said, that is definitely not us. I obviously didn't know what video they were talking about. This was the video. Okay, so while I was so convinced that I wasn't the one singing dancing in a random video, I decided to go back to my Instagram page, and I got the shock of my life. The video had gone viral, and I've been chatting to a few media people here who were also responsible for sharing those videos. Now, just so you know, I come from a very traditional political Nigerian family. So while I was wondering how viral did my video go, I got the answer to that question when I got a call from my father. He said, do you think I sent you to Europe to be dancing on the internet? You are supposed to be studying medicine, you are dancing online? I give you 24 hours to shut this thing down. So the clock was ticking, 24 hours. When I knew that I couldn't meet the deadline was when I found myself making calls to bloggers in Canada. And there was the time difference. And I realized, well, you know what, Dad? I'm not going to meet this timeline. So whatever happens, happens. Guess what happened? Nothing. Nothing absolutely happened. Anyway, so we had this platform, and it was time to start creating content. So we had stumbled across these 30,000 followers, started our YouTube channel, and we started exploring our value proposition, as I'd like to call it. We created content around family, travel, fashion, lifestyle, you name it. Whatever we were doing in our lives, we were recording it and we were putting it online. And eventually, we decided to stick to the three categories: family, lifestyle, and travel. These were the three categories that were very reflective of where we were in our lives. But also, these were the categories we realized over time got us the most views. So we stuck to these categories. And this was the first lesson I learned about business. A couple years ago, there was no such thing as being an influencer. But now it's a business. The strategic thinking of what content should I put, what am I passionate about, what is interesting to my audience. And this is the way that any other business will think. The reason we stuck to those categories is because we realized that at the time I was in medical school, so when I put out videos like motivational videos about how to balance YouTube with work, what the things you need to know before you become a doctor, we realized that they didn't get as much views as when we would put out personal videos like our wedding, the birth of our first child, or controversial topics like problems living with a black woman. You can see that they would get over 1 million views. So we were passionate about family, lifestyle, travel, but over time we realized, okay, this is what our audience are interested in. So from the strategic thinking about your value proposition, what your audience is interested in, I would actually say that influencing is entrepreneurship at its core. So for every influencer sitting here today, we are entrepreneurs. You have to plan your content. You have to think about what's important to your audience. You have to create a strategy and put it online. And that is what any normal business would do. So it's actually time to start thinking of yourselves as entrepreneurs. And when you think about the business of social media, it's also understanding the different platforms that you have and understanding what kind of content works on different platforms. And that is also the way that you build any business. I also want to tell you a little story about how social media has also influenced not only my life, but also has inspired me to create a business. So my journey with my company called Medics Abroad started when I was a student. I decided to get out of my comfort zone. I packed my flights and I traveled to a rural village in Kenya where I knew no one. And after a few weeks, I got the best experience of my life. When I came back to Ireland, I thought every healthcare professional, student or qualified, needs to experience the same thing. But when I thought about the logistics of planning my entire trip, I realized that it was an absolute pain. And then I sat down and wrote all of the problems that I had faced. And I also wrote what the potential solution would be. And then I asked myself, if I was to go on this same elective, would I pay a company to solve only half of these problems? Or would I pay a company that will solve all of these problems? And that was the start of Medics Abroad. So I started my company that takes care of all of the logistics to enable healthcare professionals around the world to practice medicine in Africa. The very first success we had with Medics Abroad, I would say it was entirely due to social media. When we decided to send the first group of students to Kenya, we created a content strategy. We thought, well, we would design a little poster, put it online, and take the first 10 students who showed that they were interested. Within a few days of putting that content online, the career specialist from the Royal College of Surgeons, who was following me online, reached out to me to say, I want to partner with you. So eventually, we took the first group of students who worked in over 6 specialties, and the feedback was overwhelming. And for me, this was when I started to also realize the power of social media, not only for influencing the people that follow you, but also, as a strategy to expand your business. So now I just want to conclude with making sense of your platform. What does influencing mean to you? I've had a few interviews with some of the media houses here, and the most popular question is, what does it mean to be an influencer? And what is the one advice that you would give to young people who want to be an influencer? And that's a question that doesn't have a straightforward answer. Because today, especially with the popularity of being an influencer, I find that more and more young people wake up and think, I want to be an influencer. They make it sound like being an influencer is as simple as wanting to go to medical school to be a doctor or wanting to go to law school to be a lawyer. It's not that straightforward. Being an influencer, to me, means being authentic. To be authentic means to live your life the way that inspires you the most, and through creating content around your lifestyle, then you will inspire people. Because at the end of the day, what is influencing? Influencing is inspiring people to do something that you have suggested, simply put, right? An influencer made me buy this, an influencer suggested this. But I think the most important, there are so many steps to being an influencer rather than going online to build followers or to build likes or to work with brands or to get free products. Aisha, if she's in the crowd today, Aisha is somebody who really touched me. Hi, Aisha. She really touched me because she said to me, you have empowered me. Aisha started following me when I was pregnant for my first child, at the same time that she was pregnant for her second child. And she started following me because I was sharing content around motherhood and pregnancy and the journey and the things that I want to buy and my experiences. And in addition, I was also running a business. And she said, I looked at you creating content around your life, being pregnant, as well as running a business. And I said to myself, if she can do it, then I can. Through my platform as well, she also got to know my sisters who moved to Nigeria to start a business. And Aisha was in Canada at the time. And she also said, well, if they can move from England to go to their country in Africa, then of course I can move. I can be a mother who can run a business and move to Africa. And that is the way that you authentically influence people. By being yourself, by living your life, by doing things that motivate people. This is the way that you become an influencer. And this is the thing that you have to think about when on your social media before you put out a content. How does this content relate with me, and how is the other person going to feel? So in terms of making sense of your platform, I'm not sitting here telling you that it's not the right thing to think about money. I mean, even the Bible says, he who works should eat. So if you are going to spend your time creating content, which we know that it's not easy, by all means, look for a way to generate revenue, because this is an industry that is blooming. Think about ways to work with brand. Think about ways to monetize your platform. Make money. But that should not be your primary goal. How does your content inspire people? How do you empower people? I gave my story about Aisha earlier, and that is the way that I have empowered her. And with thousands of girls that I meet, that I get emails from, telling me, well, you inspired me to go to medical school. But guess what? I didn't go to medical school because I wanted to influence someone. I went to medical school because I wanted to be a doctor. And by going to medical school, by working hard and by graduating, I've inspired young girls to think, well, I can do the same. And that is the way that you empower people through your platform. Think about what impact are you having, and what impact is the platform having on you? Most of us are very clued into our phones. We scroll 1,000 times through our Instagram, through Twitter, there's so much content that we're consuming. You always have to ask yourself, the amount of time that I spend on this platform, what am I getting out of it? And that leads me to the number one tip, follow with intent. Don't just follow people because, oh, like she's posted a lovely picture, oh, because I met her down the road. For people that I follow, because I realize that we spend so much time on our platform, I make a conscious decision to follow people who will inspire me. So that when I'm being lazy, scrolling through my platform, I'm also consuming content that ultimately will empower me. In terms of personal development, I mean, I can tell you for a fact that all the lessons and all the skills that I've gathered from being an influencer are things that I would never have been taught in medical school. DSLR, I never even knew what DSLR was. Lighting, Photoshop, Lightroom, YouTube, uploading, algorithms, this, that. Nobody even teaches you anything about this in medical school. So for me, I know that I have personally developed myself by being an influencer or by being a digital content creator. And that is a huge impact that it's had on me. And now I'm going to leave you with the most important thing you should think about being an influencer. What social impact are you having? And by social impact, I don't mean that you have to donate to charity every day. I don't mean that you have to go on the street and make sure that no one is homeless. No. But always think, how is my content and how is my platform helping the community that I'm in? And this is very, very important to influencers that are based here in Africa. I mean, this is your opportunity to change the narrative. I just had an inspiring conversation with Sophia today about the perception that she had before coming here to live and how her mind has changed, and she's been so exposed since coming here. So my question is, you need to use your platform to inspire people. And you don't, like I said, it's not always about how much do you donate to charity, but even through advocacy, through opinion, if you can use your platform to publicly state that you are a feminist, that you do not agree with child marriage, that you do not agree with domestic abuse, if you stand for things like this, our voices will be heard. And I think that that is the most important thing to being an influencer. Thank you.